What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 24th iPhone development tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be working in the implementation file of the switch class. So go ahead and jump right into that. And remember, this is the class that manages pretty much all the views. So we imported switch class.header, obviously, and we need to import a couple more things. Did I spell that right? Yep, I didn't put a pound sign. So go ahead and import that blue class.header, and go ahead and import that red class.header. Looks good. So after that, remember in our interface file, we made these two objects, red class and blue class, to access whatever we needed from inside those classes. So go ahead and synthesize both these. So synthesize blue class, synthesize that object, and at synthesize red class to synthesize that red class object. So now automatically build setter and getter methods. So after this, we need to build a method called, it returns nothing, returns void. It's called viewDidLoad. You're saying, alright, so this is a method that we must have declared in here. What the heck? Where is it? Oh, it must have been a prototype. No. It actually is a method from our parent class UI view controller. And remember, whenever you make an implementation, or pretty much the body for the method that's in parent class, it pretty much overrides it. And we're saying, alright, why do we need to override this method? What's the point if it's already created? This method gets called whenever a view is first loaded, and it's pretty much a method that you're supposed to override whenever you first load method to say what do you want to do when this view is first loaded. Alright, so when the view is first loaded, we need to give them a view by default. So, I mean, you can use blue or red, it doesn't matter. They didn't select anything yet, so let's just go ahead and give them the blue view. So in order to do this, put blue class and create a new object called blue or something. And by the way, what we're doing is all we're doing here is we're going to be creating an instance of the blue class. So blue class, allocate some space, and of course initialize with nib name. And if I do that right there, so now you put the name of the nib file, and then go ahead and press at, and I named mine, don't forget, blue window. And another thing you might want to take note of, whenever you get the file name of the nib file, I mean the file's name is actually .xib, like that, but don't include a .xib. It already knows, since you're initiating it with a nib name, it already knows it's a nib name. So for the bundle, don't even worry what this is, just go ahead and put nil. And now what we did, of course, is we created an instance of a blue class and stored it in the object blue. So from here, what we want to do is take our object or our property and assign it to this instance right here. So they equal the same thing. So self.blue class, and go ahead and set this equal to blue. So now this and this are the same thing. Pretty easy, huh? So what we want to do now is, now that we have created an instance and assigned it to our property, we can go ahead and we actually need to insert this view. Pretty much, remember, we had that root view that we created, and we would need to insert this subview to the root view. And the root view I'm talking about is the one with the toolbar we created in the last tutorial. So let's go ahead and pretty much make this show up on the screen. That's what I'm trying to say. So the method to do this is self.view and insert subview, just like that. And now you're right, what subview do you want to put? And we want blue.view. And this pretty much means the view from the blue class at index 0. So we're saying, alright, what does all this mean? Well, we have this main view. It's the main view that controls everything. And by inserting a subview dot view, what this does is it inserts blue view behind the toolbar. And it's saying, alright, you have this main view and then you're putting a subview behind it. But how does it know how to go behind the toolbar and not in front of the toolbar and cover it up? Well, at index 0, this is where you position everything. Index 0 means go behind everything. And since we want our toolbar to stay in front, we put this at index 0. So by inserting subviews, and this is the view we want to insert, we pretty much make this view show up on the screen. So that's the key thing you need to take from this. Whatever you put in here, that's what view shows up on the screen. Alright, so after this, we just need to do blue oops, not allocate, release, because remember, we allocated it right here, so we need to release it. I tell you guys that 100 times before. And you need to call one more method, superclass viewDidLoad. So check this out. This method is viewDidLoad, and we just need to call it in superclass because it's just one of those housekeeping things whenever you use this method. Alright, simple enough. And yeah, with that being said, I'm actually going to be teaching you what I need to teach you in the next tutorial. And remember, we already did this right here. This is what happens as soon as you load, before the user even presses any buttons at all. This is what they're going to see. That's all we did in this tutorial. So in the next tutorial, remember, we built this method, switch views, and what this method is supposed to do is take the button the user presses and give them a view depending on which view is already showing to switch the views out. But I don't have time in this tutorial to do it. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be building this method right here. And it's a pretty big one. So yeah, grab some popcorn and you're going to be in for quite the ride. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.